live. I'm here with Tyler Lantz.
Howdy.
What's up, man?
Doing well.
We've been hanging out for like an hour now.
It's been pretty good, yeah.
Hell yeah. It's good to see you, man.
Oh, great to see you, man. It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, the first thing I wanted to talk to you about, like I said, is how we met.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, shoot.
I just wondered if you remembered.
No, I mean, it's probably a reason why I don't remember, and it's probably related to how we met, but but no, I know it was through music. I know definitely through my band that I used to be in.
Hell yeah.
But don't recall exactly.
The Baby Lottery.
Yes, yeah.
I love
the old death metal band.
Do you still have like any of your tracks? Like
your
album?
they're on iTunes.
Are they?
Yeah. They're.
I don't use iTunes, just Spotify.
Oh yeah. Oh, they might be on Spotify. I don't know,
man.
but I'm a Apple Music guy. I use that program. So, but yeah, they're definitely all in there.
That's dope. Yeah, no. We met in Flagstaff at one of your shows in like, I'm gonna say 2009.
Yeah, probably it. Yeah.
Fucking A. What was that? 9 years ago?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was 17 for sure. How old are you?
I would have been 19 at the time. I'm 28, about to be 29.
You're 28.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we met at a Flagstaff show. It was snowing. We went up from Havasu that weekend. Me, Alec, and Tyler. And I can't remember who you guys were playing with that show.
I think it was Arsonists.
Was it Arsonists?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's where we saw Johnny, man, at the new Arsonist show.
I can't believe they're back. I thought
Scottsdale.
they stopped, and then I saw Alec posted like a new song the other day. Which
Yeah,
is
why the
neat.
fuck weren't you there?
I didn't know it existed.
Man,
I
it
probably
was
would have
dope.
came.
It was so dope. Yeah, so we went up just to see them, and then you guys were like one of the openers. And then we started talking to you guys like after you played, and then we all went out and smoked like a blunt outside.
That sounds like 19-year-old me for sure.
Yeah.
So let's go, guys.
And yeah, I think in my car.
I could see that.
I can't remember
it's coming back
if
to me.
we were in the parking lot, but I think we all jumped in my car and blazed.
I see
and
why
then
my
jumped
memory
out.
of that is hazy.
Or it was by your guys' old van. One of the two.
Oh, the dank van. Yeah.
Yeah,
the
that thing was
yellow
dope.
bus.
Oh man, that was cool, man.
It was.
Do you miss being in a band?
I mean, yeah, I play for my buddy's band right now. I mean, we just do local shows and stuff like that.
You do?
Yeah, I did one last night. It was at like a punk bar in Tempe. It was pretty fun.
Oh, that's sick.
So I play with them. You know, we probably don't do a ton of shows, but maybe like one or two a month. And they're just like a kind of, I don't know. It's like a mix of like pop-ish punk, not like Newfound Glory, but like just more lighthearted punk and hardcore kind of stuff.
You guys have anything recorded to listen to?
Yeah, they're on YouTube. They're not on Apple Music or anything like that. They're called No One Wins.
No One Wins?
Yeah.
Okay.
The two of the members.
I gotta start writing shit down.
Oh yeah, two of the members I went to elementary school with, and then the singer here. He went to elementary school with me, but he's 3 years older than me. So, or not 3 years, 5 or 6. So he went to school with my sister the whole time. So I've kind of been in loop with them forever. And their bass player was another friend of mine who left because he has a different career now, and they just needed a player, and I'm definitely there for him. So
That's sick.
it's fun. I like doing it, definitely.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah,
it's like one of those old passions you just never got rid of.
Yeah. That's what I definitely want to get back into, because before I changed my major in school, I was a music major for a while, so I was playing in like jazz combos and stuff like that.
Oh, that's sick.
And I miss that a lot, like, because that you have more freedom. Like with this is like we have our 10 songs or whatever, and we play those, and they're fun. I'm not saying that at all, but with jazz you have more freedom to express, right? So I very much miss that.
Yeah. And what do you play for? Do you just play bass?
I play bass, but I mean, I originally started playing guitar. I just played bass out of necessity for like the Baby Lottery, because they were my friends. They already had both guitar players and a drummer. It's just like, well, we'll play bass, I guess.
That's
so I started filling in on that, and then I found, again, I just enjoyed it a lot better, more creative freedom, sitting back in the pocket and just being able to do that with the rhythm section. So definitely like focusing on that instead.
That's dope. Fucking A. I can't play any fucking instruments.
Why
like
not?
At all.
Why not? It's just not, your brain isn't wired for it.
I feel like I'm not musical. Like I feel like I've tried before, but I don't know. Maybe I should try again one day.
Maybe your creative expression is more verbal, that's why you gravitated towards film and screenwriting. You know,
Maybe.
visual,
Probably.
verbal instead of, you know, musical like that.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'd have to have someone like be patient with me and like fucking sit there and like baby steps with me, you know, through like basic shit, you know. Like I don't think I would learn. Like so many of my friends self-taught themselves like guitar and shit. That's it. That ain't me.
Get a cheap keyboard or something like that.
I can't like teach myself to play guitar. I don't know if I don't have the patience, like because I'm just like I
give
suck.
up after
I'm never
5
gonna
minutes.
get better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I need to try and like do harder things.
Put a little more effort into it.
God damn it, I suck. This fucking started out weird.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's sick, dude. I didn't know you're still playing though.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I still practice with them, and I still play shows every now and then.
You'll have to let me know so I can come check that out.
Oh yeah, I'll let you know for sure. I mean, I would guess we have one next month here. I don't know the schedule yet here. That's usually handled by the singer, but
that's sick.
Yeah.
Fucking A. Jazz. You like playing jazz?
Yeah, I love it.
I don't know any jazz. How different is like bass in playing jazz?
I mean, so like with jazz, I mean, it really, I mean, like what I would play is in a combo, you know, so there's 4, 5, 6 people depending on, you know, what the group, you know, so a pianist, a guitar player, a bass player, 2 horns, you know, like a sax and a trumpet or something, and then a drummer, right? So you have, you know, your chord chart, which is, you know, 16 to 48 bars of music, right? And you just kind of repeat that consistently, right? You go through that chord chart, but you can change up like the style of how you're playing it. You can slow down particular sections and stuff like that, but you're really just looping through that same thing. So it's just like you're the guitar player and you'll go through for the first solo here. So you'll play that whole full chord chart, you know, through that until the end. And then it's, okay, I'll go solo second. You know what I mean? So it's like mainly you want to complement on bass really just what the rhythm section, or I mean, you're the rhythm section. So you want to complement what the leads are doing, you know, the horns, the guitar player, the sexy instruments, you know what I mean? Because you're just sitting in the back. So you'll get the solo at the tail end of the song to kind of like, you know, slow everything down and kind of kill it and bring it back to the head.
That's kind of sick. I kind of remember that about jazz songs. Like, do you do solos like where it gets all quiet and it's just like the bass and it's like dum 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 dum. That's sick.
Traditionally it's like that's like, okay, well we'll stick you at the end, buddy. Here, let's let the saxophone, the instrument everyone cares about, go first.
That's sick though. I feel like a lot of people enjoy the bass because it's like low and like steady and.
But you're the complement. You and the drums are the rhythm section, so you get kind of the short end of the stick.
Front man of the job.
yeah, and that's like that for any band. You know,
but you're a married guy. You're fine with that.
Yeah. She seemed to like it, so
that's so funny.
Yeah.
How long you been with your wife?
Since the baby lottery days, man. I knew her. We met when we were 13 or 14.
Damn.
on the bus, because we were PEP kids,
that's
awesome. Like the gifted program kids, and we were going from our respective elementary schools to our high school to do like the math placement exam, and we met there, and then we were in high school together. We were friends the whole time.
Damn.
And then little after high school we started dating, and we've been together ever since. So 10 and 11 years now at this point, and we've been married. Our second anniversary is next month. So
damn,
yeah, we got married in March 2016.
That's pretty legit.
It was sweet, yeah. It took no. I mean, I think not knowing your spouse, and we were kind of riffing on this earlier. Not knowing who you're dating or marrying, or not knowing who you're going to marry here for a long while is kind of not great to me. I think a lot of people jump into things a lot quicker, you know, and the fact that we were friends for so long, we really understood each other and kind of what makes us tick. So I think that makes a productive marriage, I would say.
I feel like after you were together 10 years before you got married. Yeah, I feel like you secured that spot with each other. Yeah,
a lot of people are weird about that too, like, what took so long? It's like, well, we were friends, I was in school, you know, so I
don't feel like it took long. It's like you were kids.
And we needed to make sure that it was the right move here, and
I get it.
I was planning on proposing to her after I graduated, which was May 2015. So it's just like, okay, I'm working part-time, I'm not making that much money, I want to make sure that we have a nice wedding, I want to make sure she gets a nice ring, all that stuff. And she's not very materialistic, so I knew she wouldn't have really cared about that, but I wanted to make sure it was done right.
I understand.
And then on our trip to kind of celebrate me graduating, she took me to San Diego, and we went to the safari park because she knows I love zoos and
That's so cool.
And then she proposed to me on the beach. So it's just like very, not the gender role you would expect here. And that doesn't, I think a lot of people think that would offend me in some fashion, but it doesn't. Like, it's not,
Yeah.
I don't think that's very odd or weird at all. And it was one of the best moments of my life. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I was planning on, I'm like, okay, now it's the time. And then she was really nervous when we went out to the beach that day. I'm like, what's going on? Like, oh, I kind of figured what was coming, maybe, or maybe she was just being nervous for no reason. And then I came back and she had, 2 wedding bands and popped the question.
That's cool. She brought 2 though.
Yeah.
So she wore one too.
Yeah. It's the same one I have now. She thought I was more of a man than I am, and bought like a she I think she Googled online like what's an average men's size ring, and she got me a 10, and it's like I have little lady fingers, so it's like I would wear normally a 7, so I still have like a ring stopper.
That's awesome.
So it's just like
you gotta get that resized one day.
No, well, it's engraved with the date that she proposed, so I don't really want to do that. Yeah, I think what we're going to do, and we've talked about it for a while, is like I was just gonna make like into a necklace and just wear that, and then have a second wedding band. Yeah,
that'd be cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah, just because I mean this, I cherish this. This is like a big deal, I guess.
Oh yeah, you want to keep the first one.
Yeah,
don't get rid of it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So yeah, if it's engraved, you don't want to fuck that up on the inside.
Yeah, I've had panic moments of losing it here just because it'll slip off here. So I have to go to Walmart every 2 months and buy these little ring stoppers.
Oh my god, that's awesome though. I don't think I've ever seen a ring stopper. I guess being a dude, I don't see a lot of rings.
Yeah.
I don't exactly wear one, but
maybe someday.
Oh, that'll for sure happen.
Yeah.
Probably sooner rather than later.
Nice.
If the lady downstairs has her way, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Hopefully she doesn't listen to this episode then.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if she's listening to any of them actually.
Except the one she's on,
babe. Yeah. That was fun. That was a fun one. We did that. We got home from seeing Black Panther, and then we were kind of just like fucking jazzed from seeing it. And then we just sat down for an hour and like did the first podcast. She's like, "I'll totally do one tonight." She's all like,
"Yeah, she's energized from the movie."
Yeah.
I like that film. I mean, we were talking about that earlier. I just had some gripes with it. It was just kind of, again, it's just a Marvel movie, guys. Like, let's calm down. Movie. It's not a social movement.
Maybe it's a very good Marvel movie.
Yeah, it's. I think Doctor Strange was better. Winter Soldier was better. But there's a lot of trash Marvel movies, like Avengers 2 was real bad, has the worst villain in the series. This had the best villain, I think, in the series. His character motivation actually, for the most part, made sense to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't just generic robot, I want to kill everybody here. He had a reason for what he wanted to do here and had a reason for his retribution here, which actually I loved.
Yeah, but it's like... The whole Avengers movies are getting so
tedious.
Yeah, I feel like it's very it's so, I don't fucking know what the word is. It's the same thing over and over again. It's just like I'm waiting for like that new like turning point. Like either like they go a different direction. Hopefully in these new movies they kill a bunch of people off. Like there's got to be some kind of like tone change. Like, cause I was telling my girlfriend, like my biggest issue with these fucking superhero movies is I want them to be more like comics. And I was saying that downstairs, and I feel like, in my opinion, the closest thing to the best adaptation, and I've never read any of the comics, so maybe I'm off, is Ant-Man so far.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is the most fun comic movie I've seen. And I loved the first one. And the second one looks so good with Wasp.
Yeah, because it's purely it's just, for the most part, purely self-contained with these characters. Yeah. And they have their one villain who's related to them here instead of this overarching global threat here that, that does get boring after a while.
It's silly.
Yeah.
It's like, it's super, like they were robbers. Yeah. Like, they were criminals.
Nothing more.
Like, they turned a criminal into a superhero, and no one cared. Like, everyone's like, oh, yeah, it's Paul Rudd. Cool.
Yeah. I like Spider-Man Homecoming. That was really good, too. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, that was the... Shouldn't talk. That was the best Spider-Man movie, in my opinion, so far.
It was a lot more grounded. It wasn't as absurd as the Sam Raimi ones were.
Dude,
there was no emo Spider-Man.
The emo Spider-Man is such an issue for me.
Yeah.
It's so funny though, because it reminds me of like me and all my friends in high school.
Yeah, that was
Like,
me.
so many of us
With
just
dyed
had
black
the,
hair.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had dyed black hair for sure.
Hawthorne Heights.
Oh yeah, always flicking it out of your face. That was me constantly. I feel like I had a twitch.
Yeah.
Maybe that's probably why I have neck problems today, because it's I was like,
oh, that was for me doing the head banging all the time here. I wake up and I have to like literally adjust my neck here from just constant this for 5 years of my life. Awesome.
Do you listen to podcasts often?
Yeah, a ton. Yeah, I listen to quite a bit.
Joe Rogan has talked about that neck thing that he uses to strengthen his neck.
Stem cells?
Oh yeah, that's badass. Stem cells. Did you listen to the Mel Gibson episode?
Yeah. I kind of think that guy's a little quacky, but because Joe went to not that guy, and that guy, like, he had this anecdote about this like Cuban or Puerto Rican pilot or something like that, where like he was like totally paralyzed from the waist down, and like he had this miraculous recovery. And Joe is what I love about Joe is that when someone
call him on their shit,
he'll call them on their bullshit and like, okay, well, how? Okay, come on, tell me where. Where can I find this? And the guy was like, well, it's all over the news. And Joe's like, where in the news? He's like, well, it's in my book. It's like, as soon as you refer to the thing you're trying to sell, I don't buy it, right? So I think
I agree with you there.
But what was the neck thing for Joe? I didn't hear that.
I do think the stem cell thing is fascinating. Regardless of the guy's bullshit or not, I think we need to fucking stop deregulating that shit and fucking explore that, because I want to inject myself with some stem cells when I'm 80 and fucking live to be 100.
And if he's right, it wasn't all just fetal. So you can take the the abortion equation out of it, right? Because they were, I think what he was saying is they were taking them from adults. They were just extracting them here and then being able to utilize those, or maybe not adults, but like developing.
Well, he said placenta, right?
Well, that would be the fetal ones, but he was talking about ones that have nothing to do with fetuses at all, right? So they were taking them from.
Wasn't it like bone marrow?
I think so. Yeah, they were taking them from live humans. So you don't have that controversial equation to it. But yeah, I think we need to put some money into that for sure.
Yeah. Oh my God, stem cells are so cool. I think they're so fucking cool.
Yeah.
But that neck thing is it's like this rope looking thing, and maybe when you're here for the next podcast, I'll have my fucking TV set up. It's right there, so we can actually watch this shit.
Oh, nice.
But it's like
get Jamie on it.
Right, dude. One day maybe. Fucking there's this like thing, it's like ropes, and it's like this thing that goes around his head, and then it like creates like tension, and it's like they like do these like neck exercises with it.
I can see that.
It's like strengthening without like hurting your neck or whatever, and it's for like people with neck injuries that like need to like rotate their neck.
Oh yeah.
And like have that extra. Well, I can't fucking explain it. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, neither of us studied medicine, but yeah, that sounds like
it's badass looking.
That sounds like a medieval torture device.
Yeah, he said he has one at home and at his gym or whatever.
Oh,
and that he does it like every day.
Post workout or pre?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But
I have to check that out then.
It's like a pretty. I don't know if you can like buy one for cheap or whatever, but even if it's like $100 or something,
that's
just
not bad.
Hook it up in your fucking.
I do that before when I wake up. I have the stiffest neck from head banging for 10 years of my life.
That's so badass.
Too much metal.
I know. I feel like my ears are fucked from going to so many shows and listening to loud music.
Yeah.
In vehicles.
I have weird tinnitus effects from that. From just like do you ever get that where you're I'll have like one of my ears will just go completely deaf and then just kind of fade back into full audio.
Like
it's
like
bizarre.
You kind of like you get a ringing kind of and it just goes out.
Yeah,
that happens to me.
That Pete Townsend from the Who has that permanently in one of his ears from when they were on
like a constant ringing.
Yeah, they were on like Ed Sullivan if I'm remembering correctly, but they were on an old TV show and then Keith Moon the drummer had like a whole gimmick where his like kick drum would explode. And Pete Townsend was standing like right in front of it here when it exploded, so he had tinnitus for the whole rest of his life in one of his ears.
Way.
Yeah, and then a lot of musicians get that here because we're all dumb and we don't put earbuds in here. And I still don't do that when I play shows.
Dude, oh my God, like stories like that. Like I feel like it like it hurts me. You know what I mean? Like I'm one of those people that goes, "Ow!"
Yeah, too empathetic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, it's gotta hurt. I just can't imagine that permanently.
No,
like, it drives me nuts for 10 minutes if it happens.
Mine's usually 50 seconds, and then I'm back to normal hearing. But it's just like, beep, and then you hear it go away. Like it's very odd.
I know what you mean.
But my doctor said it's normal here, especially if you're playing rock music and listening to headphones at loud volumes here my whole life, which I've definitely done since I was 12.
Like earbuds are horrible, right? Oh my God. I know. I still listen to earbuds all the time. Everyone's always like, you should get over the ear headphones. But like, I don't want to sit at work with over the ear headphones like a fucking nerd.
A lot more discreet, yeah.
Yeah, like it's like, no, I like my fucking earbuds. And I like cranking them up.
You don't like your AirPods?
I
had to give you that.
I will say this. I hate iPhones.
Yeah.
I really enjoy Apple computers.
Yeah.
And I owned one for a long time. I've owned several, actually.
What's the gripe with the iPhone?
Oh, I think they're garbage. I don't think they're garbage. Their fucking
hardware
is outdated. And it's horrible. And they're selling people shit that Samsung sold 2 years ago.
But it's better.
No, it's not. My camera right now on my Samsung is the camera that will come out in the iPhone 12, I'm sure.
Yeah. I do like the cameras on the Android devices for sure.
And
I can't argue that.
It's just I can't get behind the overpriced Samsung or the overpriced
The
iPhone.
iPhone 10. Yeah, it's only $1,000. It's not that bad.
Are you kidding me? $1,000, dude? No, not gonna happen.
It's not that bad.
Before I forget, I am fucking stoned and I forget all the time. I did want to give a shout out to Trash Snow for making my intro. He's been a friend of mine for a while in Flagstaff. Thank you again, man. Really appreciate it. Go check him out on SoundCloud. His SoundCloud's linked on all my posts on my website, and just all my posts in general. So check him out. Thank you again, dude. And Nick Kraft for my logo and help on my website. Appreciate it. And I did want to thank you, man. Tyler, while you're here, you were like the first person to like hit me up and give me feedback on my podcast.
Yep.
So thank you very much.
Of course. I mean, I listen to a lot. I mean, a lot of different podcasts of different just genres in general here. A lot of music podcasts. I'm a loser who still likes professional wrestling, so I listen to wrestling podcasts.
That's awesome.
I listen to political podcasts here of really, I try to listen to all sides of the aisle. I know people hate him, but I listen to a lot of Ben Shapiro, who I don't really align with on a lot of stuff, but I do feel like he's very direct and educational. And even if I disagree with him, at least I'm learning something, and I'm learning what the subject matter is so I can research it myself. Right.
Yeah.
And then JRE, I mean, that's just a fun one.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. I them and Your Mom's House, Tom Segura and Christina P.
I always listen to Your Mom's House every week when it comes out.
I love it. Yeah. They're my favorite.
It's so stupid. Like it's stupid, raunchy humor. And
yeah.
I love it.
He's my favorite comedian right now, for sure. Like as far, well, I mean,
you watch
I guess
his new Netflix special?
Yeah. Him and Dave Chappelle are my two favorite like active comedians. But
oh man, Chappelle's new specials are great too.
Yeah, I saw Tom in December.
You did when he was here?
Yeah,
dude, I wanted to go so bad. So at 10p live.
Yeah, it was a stand-up live. Yeah, and
stand-up live.
All of his material was the new special, right? So it's just like when I saw the new special, I'm like, well, okay, this is still funny. There was some stuff he did personally for the crowd that was different, and then there was some stuff in the special he didn't do at that show.
Yeah,
but it was mostly the same. But obviously, if you like the special, his live show is great. So it's like the third time I've seen him here, and every time he's never disappointed.
Yeah, we went and saw Rogan.
Oh, nice.
When he was here at Comerica.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
In October or November. It was so fucking funny. But I feel like that'll be his new special, too.
Did he have an opener?
He did.
Who was it?
Tony Hinchcliffe.
Oh, yeah. Tony loves wrestling. That's my guy. He's always on the JRE trying to tell Joe, like, come on, you have to watch it. And you can see Joe, like, just being stubborn, like, no. Yeah. I like real serious fighting.
And he's like, he was on and he's like, you're going to watch Ronda, though.
Yeah.
When Ronda's on, you're going to watch Ronda.
You saw Joe, like, just cringe a little bit.
He's like,
probably.
oh, yeah. He was like, yeah, fucking He'll at least watch the highlights on YouTube.
Yeah, which I hate. I hate that so much. As a goofy wrestling fan, that makes me so mad that she's a part of it.
I love that you're a goofy wrestling fan still. Like, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I get a lot of crap for it. But it's like with Ronda, it's just like, to me, they think that she's going to bring a lot of eyes to it, which I don't think is the case. Because I like MMA too. And I know a lot of diehard people who just love MMA and that's it, right?
Yeah.
And I talk to them and they just laugh that Ronda's doing it. It's like, oh, she's going to that fake fighting bullshit.
Dude,
like,
I have a lot of opinions about that. I don't
go on.
I don't blame her for making the move.
Yeah.
I think
money,
not getting punched in the face for a living is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I do think though that people need to recognize that her career went in the toilet when she got knocked out twice.
Yeah.
The first knockout was horrible and it didn't ruin her career. She got a title shot again. She was still in the UFC.
Embarrassed.
She was still all in the news, but she fucking cut herself off from like the world and like stopped doing social media and shit, stopped doing interviews. And that really hurt her career because she stopped being in the spotlight.
I kind of think that's going to happen to Conor, too.
Oh, that's going to happen if he doesn't come back.
People are pissed. Yeah. He won't defend the belt.
But he still says super controversial stuff. Like, did you see what he said about UFC 223? Like, the headliner pulled out, I think, Eddie Alvarez. I could be getting all this wrong. But it's for sure the headliner at 223 to fight Tony Ferguson. And he said he stepped up. And he offered a fight. And
Conor did?
And they didn't want to pay him what he wanted.
That's not a good way to ingratiate yourself with.
So then like his manager and stuff is trying to deny it. He's like, no, that never happened. Like trying to save face.
I doubt. Yeah.
But Ronda, she got knocked out that second fucking time, and people don't understand. Like, she had a movie deal to do a remake of Roadhouse. She had another movie deal, I think, to do like this new action movie also that was like this woman's thing. She was in the talks to be like Captain Marvel at the time.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That went to Brie Larson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of that went in the trash when she got knocked out and basically just stopped talking to people.
Yeah.
Like she disappeared for 6 months or a year again. And then her movie deal got thrown away. Whatever that other thing she did, the TV special she signed up for to like do like a documentary or whatever about her, didn't happen, and it all just went away. And like, so I imagine she went from having all these dollars promised to her in life,
top of the world, yeah,
and then she just had nothing. And I imagine, like, I mean, I don't know how she spends her money, but she had to burn through some cash fast, right? Like,
yeah, you think it's never going to end. The ride is never going to end. So, so you're blowing money.
So I have a feeling she was like, well, I don't want to get punched in the head again, but professional wrestling is what I've basically watched my whole life.
Yeah.
So
Rowdy Rousey.
Why not take like the fattest contract in the world?
From from a desperate company. Yeah.
Yeah.
They think it's going to bring a bunch of eyes to it. It's just like, it won't. The MMA fans aren't going to come. Everybody who's already watching wrestling is watching wrestling. There's this myth of casual fans that, like, you know, used to watch when we were kids and they watched WCW and WWE. And it's like, they're not going to come back to it. If they don't already watch it, it's not cool to them.
Yeah.
They have MMA. That's their thing now. And
I used to watch it. That was my jam, dude. Sting. I dressed up as Sting for Halloween as a kid.
He came back 2 years ago.
Dude, that was
died.
Like, he died?
No, he didn't really die.
I was like, what?
He wrestled like a guy our age, and he got thrown into the turnbuckle, and like he can't wrestle again because his neck is just jacked.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, but Sting was the guy. I could see that. You're a WCW guy.
Oh, he was. Yeah, dude, the Wolfpack and shit. Yeah, that was my jam back in the day.
Yeah, I was always WWE. Like, I mean, I get there's a lot of guys in WCW that I like, but even as a kid, I was a big mark for the WWF. Yeah.
Dude, I watched both of them, of course. It was, Monday Night Raw and SmackDown.
That was the MMA of our childhood, I think. Now MMA is the cool thing to watch.
I grew up with, I have two brothers, and they're both older than me. So, I mean, wrestling that was life as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, it was like Yeah, hell yeah, Monday Night Raw's on, man.
Yeah, I got introduced to it by my older sister.
The Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and now they both love MMA. They both love MMA.
Oh yeah,
So
I love MMA.
They transitioned to that to that too. That's like everybody else.
My favorite part of MMA is the women's division.
Yeah. I like their women's division. I'm more so like very like smaller people, and then the heavyweights. Like I don't really like the middleweight, welterweight division. There's some guys in there that I enjoy, but I find their fights to be a lot more or a lot less entertaining. It's a lot of grappling, a lot of mat work with not a lot of movement.
There's a lot of wrestlers now,
which is fine. I like DC.
Yeah,
that's
Joe
my
Rogan
guy.
always talks about that. It's like everyone has a black belt now. It's like if you don't have a black belt in jiu-jitsu, like get the fuck
Get out of there. Yeah.
But it's like I just like watching the chicks because all of them seem so hungry to win. And they're so vicious. Like it's so brutal just watching these two 105-pound girls just destroying each other in the octagon.
Joanna is my girl.
And then they're super friendly afterwards. You know, they're still like girls afterwards. And like, hi.
That's something I'll never understand in MMA. And that's both sides of the aisle. Like right after the fight here, after they're destroying each other, just good job, man.
Yeah, except Tom Brady. He's a big baby. You see, you wouldn't shake Nick Foles' hand.
No, I didn't see
lost.
that. Oh, I was too busy just celebrating and throwing shit around my house after that.
Are you, who's your team?
I like the Steelers. My wife is an Eagles fan. Yeah, I know that hurts you. 2009 hurts you a little bit, I'm sure.
Fuck yeah, dude. We're gonna wrap this up, everybody.
It's time to go. He's kicking me out. Yeah, but my wife is an Eagles fan, so we were at a party with a bunch of Eagles fans, and they were like, "Let's take a shot every time." We have that, and then everybody just got way too drunk. So at the end of the night, I was just like stomping around, like yes. I was the only one that was pretty sober still,
Oh my
but
God.
I was very excited that the Patriots lost because it came down to literally the final play. It could have went to overtime if Gronk caught that ball. So I would have cried a little bit.
Oh my God, dude, it was insane. Watching it was insane. We all watched it here, and it was just like no one believed it was happening. But it did.
Yeah.
But there was this meme online the next day of like the last 4 wins Tom Brady has had in the Super Bowl, and all the quarterbacks shake his hand.
Oh, and then he refused to shake Foles. I didn't see that.
And then it's like he just left the field immediately.
Oh, what a crybaby.
Yeah.
That's
Big
like
bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I
Hey,
can't.
you push that cord up into your mic.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like hanging out a little bit.
Oh. Is it?
I don't know why.
It seems tight.
Okay, it's good.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, I went in farther.
Oh, good.
That's so weird. I don't want it to be all fucked up. Probably just jacked up some ears.
Yeah, I hate Brady, and I hate that traitor James Harrison.
Dude.
What a jerk. I mean, he gave us a long tenured career, and then just I feel like he kind of got that. I mean, he'll kill me for saying this. Obviously he's not going to hear me, but I feel like he got that crybaby system, and the team kind of called him out for it. It's just like, you're getting older, you're getting less reps with the team. It's time for you to mentor these young guys, and you refuse to do it. And then you try to go for the glory of just quitting the team, and you abandoned us, went to the Pats.
Yeah.
So if he won that Super Bowl after that, because LeGarrette Blount did the same thing a couple of years ago, and that pissed me off royally. It's like Le'Veon Bell went out.
Was Blount
he's on the Eagles now, but
so he just won, yeah.
But he was on the Pats. So
but
a couple
he just won another Super Bowl with the Eagles.
So a couple of years ago, it was like Bell is the guy, right? Clearly Le'Veon Bell's the guy.
Yeah.
And Blount wasn't getting as many reps as he wanted, so he kind of threw a bitch fit and quit, on the team. Like he walked out in the middle of a game, so they fired him. They just let him go. And then like 2 days later, the Patriots claimed him. And then they won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
Which was might have been last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago. But it must have been last year because they won that game. But yeah, that broke my heart a little bit. I hate that guy,
dude. I just want to win a Super Bowl. Me personally.
You almost did.
No, the Cardinals. I really want the Cardinals to win.
Yeah.
So bad.
As a kid, it was just like Arizona sports has been so bad, and it's painful. Like I know there's other cities like But we the only world champion that we have is the Diamondbacks, and then I guess the Arizona Rattlers, if you consider arena football world champion. But I guess the Mercury have won. But
the Diamondbacks did it like exceptionally fast.
3 years into their right. They came to 98, and then 2001 they beat the Yankees.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah. So I mean, and then ever since then it has been not so great.
Yeah. I'm such a Diamondbacks fan though. I'm so excited.
They're playing the Indians today.
Are they?
Yeah, I was gonna go, but it just felt my friend. He was a Cleveland fan, or the Cleveland Native Americans. I mean, I should say. I shouldn't. I think that name is very screwed up.
That's so funny.
That and the Redskins, I think, are terrible.
I just wanted to just say, to clear this up from my other podcast. Yeah. I said American Indians. I'm usually the one.
Not the right nomenclature, man.
I'm usually the one who tells people.
Yeah.
That we called them Indians because we thought we landed in India.
Yeah.
And we never stopped calling them Indians. And it's super fucked up that we call them that.
It's silly that we. That's
I was
still
just
part
super
of
high, and I was just on a roll that day. And I am very aware they are Native
American. Yeah. Or the fact that like people are
Native
mad
American.
about Chief Wahoo or whatever here is being removed from the uniforms is crazy. It's like. That to me is like if you had like a team in South Carolina that like referred to black people and it had someone in blackface on their uniform, you know what I mean? And you're just like, that's part of our tradition. It's like, well, it's kind of a fucked up part of history that you should probably remove. Like, I know your team's been around for a while, but it's a caricature of a race that, and I'm not an overly sensitive person, but that to me is like a dead obvious, like, I think we can do without that, guys.
It's pretty messed up.
That and the Redskins. That's like, to me, it's like having a team called like the Coloreds or something like that. It's like that's like a term you can't
it's the type
use
of thing,
anymore.
To me, as like a white person, it's the type of thing to me that the people who are in that culture get to decide.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying?
I do feel like it's a lot of white people complaining, and I am one of them right now. But if they feel like it's offensive,
but that's what I mean. Like
is.
you're offended because they're offended. If they didn't care, you wouldn't care, right? Like that's how I feel. It's like no, if like the Native Americans, don't want to say anything wrong here, people. Decide that it is super offensive to them that you say that, you shouldn't say it, and that's their culture, and that's like them as a people. I will say that logic does not apply to other shit.
Go on.
Like gender pronouns.
Yeah. What's your pronoun? I forgot to ask you at the beginning of the podcast, man. I think I've been referring to you as he, and you've offended me a couple times. I go by Zimze Zur, and I don't appreciate it.
Shut the fuck up. It's offensive that I told you to shut up about that too. I hope you're joking.
No, of course, yeah.
No,
to me, the gender pronoun issue is independent. I think a lot of people conflate it with trans issues, and I don't think they're one and the same at all.
Oh, they are not the same.
Because to me, and also with the gender pronouns, is like I feel like you have the right to live your life the way you want to, and I take a very libertarian perspective on that. Of like you can do whatever you want, you can say whatever you want, but you can't limit my thought and what your words I want to use, right? And I think people have been trying to legislate, like in Canada, it's like a hate crime now. It's on the same level as like Holocaust denial if you call somebody by the wrong gender pronoun of what they accept. And
Canada's out of control.
A little bit. A little bit.
They approved like gene therapy for children.
Oh no, that to me is
like
is,
if you have a
wrong.
transgender parent and they think they have a transgender child, they're allowed to start converting them at 5 years old or whatever. And pumping a little girl full of testosterone,
probably not the best.
Should be illegal.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think indoctrinating kids in that ideology is bad. Like if they're of age, if they're coming to age, they're in puberty, and they start feeling those conflicting feelings. Maybe you can start having that conversation.
I still feel like it should just be a law that you have to be an adult. Like you can't have that surgery until you're 18, legally an adult, even with parental whatever sign off. You can't do it. Like it's just like it's proven now that like you don't finish developing until you're 25. Like that's proven. Your brain is not finished developing. Like it is totally possible a 5-year-old will change their mind by the time they're 18. Like, it happens all the time. Like, little boys dress up in dresses.
I thought I was Shawn Michaels when I was 5.
They give it a shot.
Yeah.
Like, like kids do different stuff. Like, especially if they have sisters or whatever, like.
And it's okay for them to explore that. I don't want that to come off as like.
No, it's not weird. It's like, it's part of being a little kid. Yeah. Like, and then, they become a teenager with hormones and they're like, no, I'd actually rather sleep with a girl than dress up as one.
Yep.
And it's just like those thoughts don't even happen until you hit puberty because you don't have those chemicals in your body, and it's mind blowing. But what I was going with like the Indian shit is like, I think Native Americans, they get to decide what we use their shit for. People with all this gender shit, they don't get to just decide.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a small population of people. And if you fucking disagree with me on that, fucking Google it. It's a small population of people.
Very minute.
I think it's something like an estimated like 6 to 10% of the world population might be gay at this point.
Yeah, and that's what the thing I was saying, so where they conflate it with trans rights. It's
1% is having an issue with gender pronouns. I feel like.
I feel it's less than that because it's like
0.1%. Maybe.
Yeah, because it's less about trans rights. Because again, I know trans folks, and it's just, to me, it's like you were born as a woman. And now you've transitioned into being a man, and I can respect that. Like I'll call you he. You were Jane before, now you're James. You're James to me, right?
Individuals get to decide.
Yeah,
for sure.
you're a man now, right? But that is of biological. Trying to put this in a way that's not offensive, but that's biologically accurate to me. Like I get the fact that you were born with this as a woman, right? Again. And you feel in your mind that you're a man, right? And you want to make that transition. That's totally okay with me. But when you tell me you're a wolf hybrid or something like that, and you want me to use a pronoun that doesn't exist, I don't follow. Like, and I'd like to understand, but I don't really get it.
The people that are saying they're fairies.
Yeah.
And weird shit. Or like that guy who said he's a 12-year-old girl. Or he just started talking like a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And he's like a 50-year-old man.
It's not the same.
It's not okay. You need to see a psychiatrist at that point.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's not the same to me. Like, again, yeah, if you want to.
But I feel like those people, if they transition, they get to decide their gender pronoun. Yeah. And it's like up to you to respect that and use it. But this fucking small population of people don't get to just change the entire culture of the world and say like, no, you're not allowed to say thank you, sir, in public anymore because that's offensive. It's like, no, you don't get to tell me that's offensive. Like, you don't. One of the weirdest things in our culture is we're just deciding things are offensive now. And it's like, no, you don't get to just police word choice and say something's offensive. And I was talking to Sam about that on my other podcast. Like, and I use this weird fucking analogy where like, I don't get to decide sidewalks are purple, but it's like the same shit to me. It's like, you don't get to just decide something is that way. And then society has to change.
We have to legislate that too. That's the thing to me.
And society like, changes over tens of years, hundreds of years. Like, if black people have been fighting for rights for fucking centuries, still they're having issues with it. Like, people need to understand, like, get in line. Yeah. Like, it's not going to happen overnight. Like, it's not going to be like a cultural like shift. Like, oh yeah, we don't say that anymore because we just decided yesterday. So everyone doesn't say that. We deleted it out of the word box. We don't. That word's not an option anymore.
I think there's some obvious ones. Like again, I don't want to offend anybody, but when people say tranny or something like that, or any of those words that we used as like insults as a kid, I think those are I understand why those are offensive, because then you're kind of denying their human rights right here. But when you tell me that you've transitioned and we can't use he and she anymore, and you dictate my thought on that, then I have a problem. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So to me, it's like,
and Dave Chappelle talked about that in his stand-up special.
Yeah. I thought he was so spot on about that. Like, it's just like, it's different to like,
and people need to understand that stand-up comedians make jokes. That's like a big thing for me, and it really bothers me. Like, people need to understand people are allowed to make a joke. Yeah. Like, if it bothers you, great. But they were still joking. Yeah. Like, it's like, even in public, like your friends and shit, like, you can't just police everyone's word choice in every fucking social interaction just because, like, you're sensitive. And that's my biggest fucking issue with, like, safe spaces and shit. Like safe spaces to me are like the most mind-blowing thing because these kids want to act like the world's like not offensive.
Yeah.
And they want to say this space is safe, but only from the words I don't want to hear.
Yeah. And how do you have a challenge how do you develop ideas without someone challenging yours, right? How do you change people's minds without challenging their ideals? I don't understand that. So when that is so free speech limiting to me. And it's like these are the same people who read 1984 in high school and think it's the greatest novel of all time, which is great. But then they want to adopt these Orwellian policies of limiting free speech and banning guns and anything you can do to actually fight for your ideals, either philosophically or physically. Right?
Yeah.
So I just don't understand it.
I never read that book. I've heard a lot about it lately.
Good. Animal Farm's better, but
I missed a lot of those required readings.
Yeah, I was going to say that those are pretty much required readings in high school.
I dropped out.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I didn't finish high school.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were like freshman, sophomore year, both books
really?
that we kind of had to read.
Oh,
yeah.
We didn't read that shit. See, I had like a weird high school like experience though, because I was in honors English freshman year, so we didn't really follow the course there.
Yeah.
And then sophomore year or junior year, I had like technical English where it was like trying to merge it with like information stuff, like systems. Her husband was like one of the IT teachers.
Yeah.
And it was like this weird like first trial run fucking shit. It didn't go very well.
I like that kind of alternative teaching here, but yeah, to be part of the pilot program probably isn't the best.
Yeah.
Then you're just being lab rats in the experiment.
It would be a cakewalk though, you know what I mean? I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, it was be easy. Yeah. I had that attitude in high school too, yeah.
But then, I dropped out a couple months into junior year.
Yeah.
And I got a GED.
Nice.
And then I just started going to community college. So, yeah, I just didn't have like the traditional, like I graduated when I was,
17, or got the GED when you were 17 or...
Yeah, I dropped out on my 17th birthday.
Yeah.
And then I got my GED 5 days later. And then I was enrolled at community college a month later.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so like when my friends graduated high school, I was like
a year or
3 semesters into community college.
Nice.
Yeah, it didn't really help in the long run because I still took 5 years to graduate.
Yeah.
But
I switched my major around here, so it took me 4.
Yeah.
Never. But I mean, I'm glad I did switch majors in the long term here because I was music major at first and then switched to EE. So I feel like more doors are open, even though I haven't taken the opportunities yet. But
I feel like there's a lot of places down here that hire engineers.
Yeah, it's very, very true. Most of everything is out in Tempe and Scottsdale, so I need to make the journey here and apply myself. But
and a lot of it's just job experience, I guess, though too.
Yeah,
right?
that's one thing I liked and I aligned with your third podcast. I think is that. I don't think there's a lot of focus in education on actually how to get a job and actual job training. And I've talked about this with people who are finance majors and business majors and other engineers. And I feel like a lot of our schooling is theoretical as far as opposed to practical. So when you graduate, you have all this theoretical knowledge. And I think all that does is prove that you can work hard and you have a triple-digit IQ. Yeah. And that's about it. Like you don't really know what you're doing. You don't really know you're not prepared to work, right?
Exactly.
Coming out of college. And I felt like that so much in engineering, like, because we were using tools from the 80s, like when we were using oscilloscopes from the 80s that were like so old and out of date. They're like, they're essentially like a tool that reads signals, right? Like that reads input, right?
Yeah.
And displays a waveform. But
could you get a little closer?
Oh yeah, sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna be screaming into the mic in a second.
I just watch your. I don't know how loud you're talking.
Yeah, the waveform. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just goes a little quiet when you back off.
Yeah. I'm a spaz here, so I'll move around quite a bit.
I feel like I'm so fucking paranoid about the audio, and I need to shut up about it. And I'm really sorry.
It's been fine on the other podcast. Like you can tell when you step away from the mic, but it's been good.
I did say like fucking let me know if it's not bad, and I'll shut up. Sorry to oscilloscopes. Go on.
Oh no, you're fine. It's just I feel like a lot of the stuff. I was kind of offended at ASU when we were going there because the tuition is so incredibly high, and I'm like, where exactly is this going to? Because I see a lot of I saw the sports facility get updated, I saw the football stadium get updated, and I see this engineering building where there's tools that are 40 years old. We had, for my senior capstone project, we were doing something with a high voltage generator that was made in the 70s, and it kept breaking. And our, instructor would be like, well, we can't really have anybody repair it, because no one knows where to find the manual for this thing, because it's 40 years old, and we don't have the money to buy a new one. So it's just like, well, you guys can try to poke around and see if you can,
I didn't know the engineering school is that outdated down here.
A lot of it is. I mean, that was just EE, so maybe the mechanical engineering is better. Maybe the other schools are better than that, but it felt pretty out of date. And then
you should have came to NAU, bro.
Yeah. They're high tech.
They stepped it up
nice.
Quite a bit in the last couple years.
I graduated 2015, so maybe ASU is progressing.
They just started a new school of informatics, and turned this whole building in. It was starting before I left. Yeah. And it was I just remember walking by, and there's rooms with drones in them and shit.
Ooh, yeah, I wish.
And this badass tech that I was like, God damn it, why am I not a student? I would fucking switch into this fucking program.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. We had 1970s high voltage generators and old oscilloscopes. Not great tech. And then I would see the silliest thing. I don't know if you've seen this on campus anywhere. Is the bike valets. That was the thing that kind of pissed me off a little bit when I'm dealing with these old tools and I see people getting paid to watch bikes. Yep. They'll check in your bike and give you a claim ticket, and there's 4 of them. That kind of grinded my gears a little bit.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. The budget shit is off, and they're renovating the stadium again.
Yeah, that's all I saw. That's the only update I saw.
They're building this whole a mall area around there. They're going to open the stadium for 365 days a year for public use, so it's not wasted and empty for half the year. It's pretty mind blowing. They're where the tram goes, the light rail in campus.
Mm-hmm. That's where I used to park.
They're putting that underground, and it's going to run through a building.
Okay.
They're building a new building over that area. It's pretty nuts. There's a 10-year overhaul of ASU going on right now.
And none of it's for Goldwater Center. It's
all sorry, man. I don't want to get off topic, though. We were talking jobs, though. So I have this idea. Do you care if I smoke while we're
No, you're fine.
All right, we're going to keep
You're not going to trigger me.
Don't get triggered, bro. But so my whole thing, and I think I've heard definitely people say shit like this on different ideas, but I think it's genuinely possible to overhaul education and mix it with the job force.
Yeah.
And make companies align with public education institutions. And I think it could really help overhaul public education and make it more valuable over private education, which is fucking ripping people off insanely on tuition dollars. And they're just fucking reaping the benefits from all this fucking political bullshit that they align with. Betsy DeVos and her fucking bullshit private education campaign.
No thanks. Yeah.
But I think it could genuinely get to a point where only so many people are allowed to get a degree in a year. You have to apply to your engineering program.
Yeah.
And we got asked by GE, IBM, whatever, for so many jobs for the graduating class of 2015 for electrical engineering.
Yep.
We can fill 20 spots.
I think that would be better. Yeah,
we're accepting 20 students into the program.
It was a little oversaturated.
And then your last year is you go work for them. That is your capstone.
Yeah. I think that would be a lot more beneficial. Yeah.
And maybe it can be paid. Maybe they give you a free apartment or something for the year. Companies like that could for sure afford it.
Yeah, I mean, it's worthwhile for their recruiting. I couldn't see why not.
You finish your education, you get a job. When you finish, you're already a year into the job. You have experience, and then day one of your job, you're ready to go.
Yep.
You're not in training. You're not anything. You're just fully ready to go a year in, have all your access to all the systems. Done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't feel like that's unrealistic to expect.
No.
With all these fucking companies like Apple and fucking Google, Amazon's opening that new fucking headquarters wherever. It is not unrealistic to fucking partner with a school like that.
It's mutually beneficial. I couldn't see why you
and
wouldn't.
For all job ranges. You can't tell me they don't hire office people.
Yeah, and in finance, if Merrill Lynch decided to do that here with
Exactly.
what's the ASU finance, I forget what their business school is called.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, but you'd think you would want to do that, right? You just to partner with him here because that's just on-site recruiting. It's so easy to move into that, and I feel like it needs to be overhauled or at least make it more worth your money.
Because I'm not saying that's the answer. I'm just saying that's like
that's
one
an
idea.
answer. Yeah, I don't think that's a terrible idea at all. But what you said about how expensive it is, I talked to my dad who is turning 69 this year. And he went to college at San Diego State in the late 60s, early 70s. And his tuition, if I recall correctly, for a full semester was $200 or so, right?
Yeah.
So if
Dude, we could Google that right now.
Yeah, with inflation, that's maybe $1,000 tops, $500, something like that. So we're paying 10 times as much per semester as he was to get that college degree.
What was the year?
Yeah, he started, he's 1949, so he would have started in 67. And then went to 71 at San Diego State. So it's just, to me, he said it was around $200, I think, with out the door with tuition and books.
The median annual income for a man in 1971 was $6,000.
Yeah, and he paid for school working at Safeway, right, which was impossible now.
No way. Your dad worked at Safeway?
Yeah, he had Jack in the Box,
I just get like
Safeway.
a fist bump on
Yeah.
that one. My mom works at Safeway.
Yeah.
My dad worked at Safeway. My parents met there.
Nice.
And I was a Safeway kid, man. I grew up in the back of Safeway.
Yeah.
I remember having memories of like the coolers and shit.
Yeah, he was stocking overnight, I believe, and that he was going originally for mathematics, and then he switched to health physics.
Yeah. My dad went to NAU while he was working at Safeway.
Nice. Yeah. So once he graduated, it's just like he's not in crippling financial aid debt. That's not, you can't go bankrupt. Like, I don't know terribly too much about that, but from what I understand, you can't qualify that as bankruptcy. So you're just locked into that FAFSA debt.
Yeah, absolutely. It says the average 4-year public tuition, and I don't know, this could be off.
Mm-hmm.
In 1971 was $2,400.
Oh, that's not what he told me.
For 4 years. But
maybe,
that would be $600 a semester.
Yeah. Oh, for 4 years. Oh, okay, yeah, that was for over 4 years. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's a kind of
it's on par with what he said.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is average, so this is probably averages like the super
MIT
expensive ones, all
Harvard
the way to
and
the cheapest. So that makes sense. But yeah, no, education is insanely expensive, and you don't get anything out of it anymore, other than some experiences, some people you meet, and maybe if you study the right thing, you can get a job.
Yeah.
But it's not what it used to be. It's not cheap. It's not affordable. People can't pay for an entire education anymore by
working at Safeway or Safeway. Just
a part-time job. It's not possible anymore.
You kind of have to have you go into debt here or have your parents save for you forever from the time you're 10, to be able to get through college.
Yeah. Do you see my lighter somewhere?
I got lucky because the job that I work at had tuition reimbursement here, and they would do up to $5,000 a year. So it's just like essentially a semester paid. Thank goodness.
That is dope.
Yeah. Otherwise, I couldn't imagine.
What the fuck, crypto? Oh no, Jesus, fucking dog. Yeah, back then, I mean, you could work just part time, doing whatever, and pay for education. And it was no problem.
Maybe take out a small loan, but not something that's going to follow you until you're 75.
I don't even think people needed even to worry about that back then. It was like, if you're going to college, you're going to work hard and you're going to have a job and you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fine. And I was reading this article that's something like, it said something like 30% of millennials live at home.
Yeah.
Still.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, the article purely blamed the job market, and I
think I saw that the other day.
Agree.
Yeah, it was like they said that parents would be paying your mobile phone bill well into your 40s, and you'd be living with them well into your 30s because there's just nowhere for you to go.
Well, and if you get an education,
Yep.
it gets even worse because it's like, hey, start paying that loan back, buddy.
Yeah, it's time.
And you're like, nah, dude, I didn't even get a job yet. I got to make a $300 payment a month. Yeah,
interest.
Sorry, you didn't read that fine print?
When you were 18?
Years of payments?
Yeah.
Or 10 years of payments, depending on what you want to do. Like
that turns into 25, 30, 40 years.
It's like, start giving us the money, man. Sorry. And you're like, how do I pay rent and my car bill for the car my parents bought me when I graduated?
Yeah, you don't.
And like, shit like that. It's like, what? Like, what am I supposed to do, man? Well, I guess I'm moving back home with my parents so I don't pay rent. And then I can pay my student loans. And it's mind-blowing. Like, what are you going to do?
I can't imagine.
How are people going to survive, like, long-term? Like, if the job market doesn't change.
Mm-hmm. I really like that idea that you proposed here. If really, because it's hard to get the private sector to do something like that, really, to change, to overhaul like that. But if you have them working hand in hand with school, that's an easy recruitment policy, right? You know the talent that you're getting because they've worked with you for so long, and they're ready to perform as soon as they graduate.
Yeah, and I mean, treat it like a real job.
Yeah.
If they suck for a year, fire them.
Yeah.
It's a real job. Like, make them earn it. Like, it's a normal thing. Like, that happens all the time. Kids graduate and get a job, and then they suck ass and they get fired.
Yep.
I've seen it happen.
Mm-hmm. That's my big job security is like my biggest fear.
Right? I'm gonna fucking open that window.
Oh, you're cool.
Keep talking.
Oh, keep riffing. Yeah, I mean, to me, I'm really terrified about job security. That's why I'm really kind of scared about switching careers right now at this point because I want to utilize my degree, right? But I also don't want to get in that the shark-infested waters of the unknown, right? Because I'm really comfortable right now, but I want to do more. I want to have more of a purpose, which I don't feel my job currently does.
Right.
I feel like that's another thing I aligned with you on your first podcast. I feel like a lot of our generation is kind of aimless because we were told that, there's this magical mystery tour that you can experience once you graduate college, and it really is a lot harder to get into that, right? And it's
so difficult to get a
faith.
job without experience.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't understand that. Like, I tell people all the time, the only reason I have my entire career is because I started working part-time at a community college when I was 17. Because my buddy's mom called me, and she knew I just dropped out of school, knew I got a GED, knew I was enrolling. And she needed a new, like, part-time, like, 10 hours a week office worker. And I was like, yeah, I can do that for sure. Can you open that door?
Here you go, bud.
Thanks, man. Oh, it wasn't locked. And, you could leave it open. It's a podcast. It's real, people. We're just living.
Hey.
We're just hanging out. But so she offered me this job doing financial aid at the community college, just like, part-time. And it was fine for me at the time. And I learned a lot. I genuinely did. Like, I learned the ins and outs of financial aid, how people got it, the different types, loans, grants, all that shit, interest rates, blah, 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 whatever. But I did that for a year and a half while I attended that community college. I never wanted to work at financial aid again. I didn't care about it. But then I started looking for full-time jobs at NAU after I graduated. Because I realized pretty quick into living there and getting close to graduating that I was going nowhere fast. I didn't have money to move out of Flagstaff. I didn't know where I was going to go, where I was going to live, where I was going to get a job. Like, I knew I wasn't going to move to Hollywood. I got a film degree.
Yep.
I knew I wasn't going to move to Hollywood and become like a filmmaker and struggle.
Overnight, yeah.
I had a dog. Like, there wasn't a whole lot for me to do. Like, it was get a full-time job and pay your bills.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
That's the reality.
But I started looking for jobs, and there's fucking nothing. But financial aid was hiring. And I had a year and a half of financial aid experience.
Yeah.
And that got me in the door full-time doing financial aid. And if I didn't have that year and a half of experience that I didn't want to begin with, I wouldn't have got my first
You have
full-time job.
no foot in the door. Yeah.
No, because everything else I did as a student worker didn't apply to do that shit.
Yeah.
I did IT stuff. I worked in the IT lab and fixed computers like laptops and stuff, antivirus shit, stuff like that, you know? And like, but I didn't get a degree in IT. So I wasn't qualified for IT
you're not
jobs.
qualified. Yeah.
So just like a couple years in a computer lab didn't qualify me for IT. But my year and a half of experience from 5 years prior to graduating worked out and got me my foot in the door. And then I moved up from financial aid to doing communications to becoming a business analyst. And now I'm a business analyst still. And all my other job experience definitely helped, like knowing computers and all that helped me doing business analyst work.
Yep.
But I would have never got my full-time job without that fucking year of financial aid.
I don't think that's stressed enough here because that didn't come up until literally my capstone year when we were going through our senior design projects. It's like you really need to make sure you struggle hard and get on-site work experience. It's like, well, that probably should have been something that we discussed 4 years ago because now I have no relevant work experience. I'm going to come out of here and have no prospects at all.
And honestly, like, I don't know your situation, but in my opinion, a lot of kids don't have the option to get work experience doing what they want. They just take a shitty job.
Yep.
If they're working through college and paying like I was paying my rent, I was paying the tuition that my loans didn't cover on like credit cards and shit. Like I was just doing whatever I could. Like I remember multiple semesters I charged every one of my college textbooks on a credit card.
Yep.
And I mean, that's not cheap.
No.
For people who haven't been to college, like I'm charging $800 worth of books on my credit card.
Yeah.
And I'm working a job where I make $1,000 a month. So I was not paying that shit off. So I'm still paying it off today. And it's just like, it's crazy, you know? But it's like, I did what I had to do. And a lot of kids, I don't think, have the ability to just go get an internship.
No.
Or like work for free somewhere.
No, that was my problem. Is that every
go work for free somewhere?
Yeah, every job or every kind of work experience that I could get in college was an internship. So I would have to take time out of my schoolwork right here to go work for free, and then not have any kind of compensation to pay the rent. Right.
And how crazy is that?
It's not feasible.
No. Like you're gonna go work for free somewhere and use your free time? Like,
no, I can't.
You don't have free time.
I don't have
as
any
a
free
college
time.
Student.
Yeah,
like,
I'm constantly studying or doing homework, and then the time that I have available here, I have to work to be able to pay the bills. So
yeah, and that's what bothers me when people are like, "Is college really that much harder today than it was back then?" Like I have people say that to me still. Like I got a degree, you know, I'm 40, whatever.
Yep.
Is it really that much different? It's like, yeah, it fucking is.
A little bit.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. That's the reality of it. It is. There's fucking tens of thousands more of us trying to get the same fucking degrees.
Mm-hmm. It's very oversaturated. That's how I felt.
Because that's what you have to do, right? Like
massive classes.
You have to do it. Like you have to get a degree. That's what they say. But back then, like all those 40-year-olds weren't competing with the entire rest of the population.
Yeah.
Like they were the minority at the time getting degrees in college. Before computers existed, before fucking Google existed, like it's like they had it way different. It was not the same. And people are like, is it more stressful? It's like, I don't know if it's more stressful. I don't know. How do you judge that?
Yeah.
Like, is life more stressful? Then yeah, probably. If you could say that, if it's 2018 and life is arguably more stressful than it was in 1970, then yeah, it probably is harder for kids now because it is more stressful. But that's what a lot of people talk about too, is like, yeah, it's like more expensive, but is it really that much harder? I'm like, I think it is. I don't know because I wasn't back then.
Yeah,
it's
hard to say.
You know, I don't know. It's like, I don't know.
I was waiting for a lull. I warned you about this. I have to pause for a moment.
Why?
Oh, my child-sized bladder.
Oh, you're fine.
I'll be back. Keep riffing.
I'll go for it. Well, he's peeing. Anyways, what's up, everybody? Hit me up on Twitter at MiAZ Podcast. Follow me on Instagram if you want, Jeremy Cox, if you can find me. Doing another podcast here tomorrow with Dan Sassine. Pretty psyched about it. Dan is a former military member and in the fire academy down here in Phoenix. So we're going to talk about that shit and whatever else. Maybe this new gun debate and shit. We'll figure it out. Anyways, getting there.